Hey, welcome to more random thoughts in random places. Now, this might be a kind of a long one, so you might want to grab yourself a few snacks and what have you and settle in because we're going to be discussing societal betrayal and how that's had an effect on all the other individual betrayals that we have, like, family betrayal, spouse betrayal, friendship betrayal, all of those. But what creates those? What's the catalyst of all of those? Well, it's the betrayal of society. Now, I remember as a child going to school and being told, oh, it's going to be wonderful. There's going to be work-life balance. There's going to be heaps of creativity, abundance in knowledge and wisdom. And, literally, it's your playground. It's going to be a beautiful place for you in which to grow. Of course, I'm hitting teenage years now, and I'm walking up the road. And I remember it hit me for the second time, because being born in the underbelly of society, you know what society is about. But you're told to shut up. But you can see the hell side of it, because that's where you came from. That's where people left you. So, I have awareness. You get on with life and you think, well, I'll just do the best I can. So I'm doing all of that. Had a hellish childhood. So I make it to teenagehood, and I'm walking up the street going to my first job as an apprenticed hairdresser. And as I'm walking up the road, it hits me. I get another premonition or vision. And I say to myself, this is all wrong. I don't know how it's wrong, and I don't know why I have a strong sense of this, but suddenly all of that excitement for life, well, for what I know as society, life is something completely different. We're not allowed to live it. That's the battle. So this mechanism of society now has just become the biggest betrayer of all, because it's set you up for something that it's never going to provide you with. And you're not in a free place where you can roam, explore, take adventures, and evolve yourself. You're not allowed. So as I'm going up to my new job as an apprentice hairdresser, suddenly a grey cloud came over me, and everything that I knew, that I thought was going to be the experience here on earth, ended up not being. Completely different experience, just hell, the underbelly of human existence and its debauchness, and where it doesn't know where to draw the line. It has no boundaries when it comes to despicable conduct towards each other, which led me down another journey to try and understand, well, why is an intelligent species doing that to itself? Something ain't right. It doesn't make any sense, because you would tell someone in an isolated environment, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. You're stupid. You're digging a hole in a boat. So where are we going with this? And that's when I realized, oh my God, we've been had. It's all lies. And then I said to myself, well, I'm a teenager. I've got how many years to go of this crap? The lies, the bullshit, the scheming, the scamming. It's just hell. And I remember thinking, wow, as you grow up and you grow older, you see it. You see it for what it is. And then by the time you get to my age, you realize, yeah, it was all fucking lies. And then you watch them do it to the next generation, feed them with all sorts of just hideous notions, hideous beliefs, keeping you confused, keeping you distracted, making it sure that you haven't got a clue who you are, what you're doing, or where you're going. That's on purpose. And then when you realize nothing good happens here, we keep repeating the same old wars, same old poverty. We're not evolving. We're not moving forward like they said we would. And I'm now in my 50s, and they've been chatting this shit since I was a teenager, since I was a little girl. And then, of course, you do your research and you realize, oh my God, they've been doing this for thousands of years. Someone's got their hand on the lever and they're making all the choices, all the decisions, and all of the... they're controlling everything. Just everything. And then that then in turn makes our lives miserable. And what does it do? It has us turning on each other, then being with each other, growing together like we were supposed to, as an individual, as a unit. You know, we were supposed to do all of those things. And funny enough, we're not doing any of them. We're becoming further and further apart. Man hates woman, woman hates men. Young kids don't know whether they're a man or a woman, or what's coming or going. And they're going to spend a good 20 years on their life messing around with that. And then the shit's going to hit the fan for them too. And the reality of the situation is going to hit them like a brick wall. And they're not going to be able to handle it when they realize just how much of their life they have wasted getting absolutely nowhere, just being in a right muddle with themselves. So society and its betrayals cause people to row each other, hurt each other, in a lot of cases kill each other. I've just come from reading one story of a guy, I think his name is Leo. Anyway, he's asked people to share his story because he's trying to help his granddad get his house back, because one of the children has decided that they're going to take it all. And whilst his father's gone out for a holiday, he's had to come back because his wife has died, and his son has taken over the house and locked him out, taken over the mum's bank account, bolted up the house, changed the locks, that kind of thing. So you've got the father who's worked his whole life to get that house, finally looks to retire now, and his own son has completely taken the house like he's a squatter's rights. So he now is having to battle his own son to get his house back, and he's had to incite the help of his grandchildren to make that happen. Now there you go, the desperateness of what society makes people do. Not to say that that wasn't his natural predisposition, but what certain situations do is they help bring that out. And this guy has basically bolted up the whole house and kicked his parents out. Yeah. And so now they've got to do the court order. They've got the paperwork to have him removed, but he's going to fight his ground, stand his ground, he said. Now it's behaviours like that when we turn on each other and we find reasons to justify that. We are desensitized because we are beginning to do things, or already doing things, well in the frame of doing things that we'd be horrified on a normal basis. We'd be horrified by it. But now we're giving ourselves reasons to go, oh, well, you know, I've got none of this, I haven't got that, I've got society breathing down my neck relentlessly because it doesn't come up for air. It just wants every ounce of you. And of course, when I did more research and learned that, you know, we're basically a package, and that package needs to get delivered, signed for, and then suddenly you're the property of whoever hierarchy decides that you are. And it's just always funny how everything is systematic. It's the same in every country. They might do it differently to make it appear that we all do things differently, but they're all in cahoots. They're all in cahoots with one another. It doesn't matter where you go, what you do, or how hard you try. They will never let you breathe. And the whole idea is to go backwards, to make sure that we work like donkeys for nothing, and we're going to shut up and be happy about that. See, they've gone quiet with that. But that was a big phrase at first, you know, that they're floating around, that you're going to have to work, and you will literally work for nothing. You'll be lucky if you even have a house to come home to, because it seems like they want to put us in all of these big buildings, like prisons. They want to hold us in these prisons, don't they? And have any menial excuse to say you're under arrest, you're this, you're that. We have spent my lifetime, I can guarantee you that, my lifetime going back the other way. There is no life-work balance. There never was. There never was. It's just all an illusion. Just hanging the cheese for the mice and letting them run into the trap. That's all it is. Just trap, trap, trap after trap. And that's why I say society is the biggest betrayer of all. Absolute betrayal. Kidded you all this time, and then we go down and we let our next generation believe the same shit, when it's like, wow, what are we doing? What are we doing? And this is what sets people up to hurt each other, because there's the idea that there's not enough to go around. Oh, there is. There's plenty to go around. There's plenty to go around. And think about, reflect on the word, it's a small world. Yeah, it's a lot smaller than we think. Countries are a lot closer to one another than they're leading you to think they are. You know? And then we got this thing with the line in United Arabs, wherever they're building that. Like that's going to be for everyone. No, it isn't. You've made most of the majority, us peasants, as you like to call us, in your private meetings, us peasants have done nothing but accumulate all the resources for you, so you can build these wonderful new utopia cities. But are they going to be for everyone? Who's going to pay the price for the selected few to have that? Who's going to be paying the ultimate price for that? You think they want to take us all? Or do you think the hierarchy are just doing it for themselves because they think that it's their bloodlines and their DNA that should continue on through this world? They don't like the planet. They hate it. It's there to give them all the resources they want. That's all it is. And we are the same. So it's not going to be for all of us about, oh, it's a little tester. Have you seen how they want to live? Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, yeah, we're going to do all the state-of-the-art this, state-of-the-art tech. We're going to be living in harmony with nature, when we could have been doing that before. All this revolutionary that you speak of, I already knew that as a child. Why weren't we there yet? Why weren't we there yet? Why were we dragging this diabolical freaking system? Why? This linear time. Why? So you can know where we are at all times and how much you're working us. What time we have for ourselves and what time is all yours. That's why they have linear time, to keep us under wraps, to keep us in our little cages, to make sure that we're rounded up like sheep and that we are not going to just traverse the lands as we know we should as free spirits. They're not going to allow that. They're not going to allow that, but they just keep plugging it to us like we're going somewhere into the future. No, we're not. Your outside, your new outside is going to be your indoors. So let's be trapped indoors, put these stupid helmets on and pretend that we're outside. Yeah, nah, that's not really for me. That's just not for me. That's not for me. But everybody seems to be reading into it, feeding into it. Go ahead, go buy it. Go get it. Because it's lies. Just like in my generation, they are lying to you. Having you running around like headless chickens, not knowing where you're coming or going. And by the time you do come to some sort of realization, you're going to be my age, 50, 60. And then you're going to watch them do it to the next generation. That's if you're interested, even if you care. You see, you have to be someone that cares what's going on. Most people, when they're getting their money and they're flowing through nicely, they think that's it. They switch off, they turn off, they don't think, they don't use their discretion, they don't use their discernment. It's just, oh, I've made what I need to make. Fuck everything else. No, stop saying fuck everything else. Stop that. You know, it's fuck society. Not each other. You know? That's why society is the worst. It's the worst because we are in an illusion. None of this is right. It stinks of, what do they have now? You don't even know what truth is anymore because everything's a conspiracy within another conspiracy, within a cover-up. And words now are just used to lie and manipulate people. We don't speak to evolve. We don't. We just speak so we can lie, cheat, deceive people. We are beginning to be our governments. That's what I'm saying. We are beginning to become like them, fighting on each other, stealing from each other, putting each other down, judging each other, just so you can feel better about yourself. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's debauched. It really is. It really is. It's just hell. It's becoming like the scene out of Constantine. You know? What to make of it? I knew it was wrong as a child, but I couldn't understand why I knew that. But there was no turning back. I'm here now. I got to find a way to cope with it, you know? So, how do you do that? Well, you got to push forward. You have to just refuse. You got to be stubborn. I'm not giving up on other people. I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not giving up on life, because society is making it such a grim and miserable place to be. I'm a believer in the Most High. And I can guarantee you, whether I will be here to see it or not, the powers that be will fall. Simple, because they always get too carried away and think they're bigger than the universe itself. I don't give a toss whether you're a different species from the universe, from our galactic community. What you're doing is wrong. Yeah, you don't interfere with another species for the worst, and do this, because it doesn't make it makes no sense to bite the hand that feeds us. It makes no sense to be a self-destructive person. We always try to tell people, don't be self-destructive, you're going to destroy yourself. Duh. But we're just doing it on a bigger scale. And so if we're doing it on a worldwide scale, it doesn't have the same power. Yeah, it's worse. If you're going to tell someone in an isolated situation, don't be an idiot to yourself. Why are we doing it on a big scale? Why are we allowing this? Why? Why are we allowing all of this? It's such a hard topic for me to talk about, because I've seen it from day one. And I couldn't understand why it didn't work. I just know this isn't right. We're going to exhaust every resource. We just take. We don't put back. We don't harvest properly at all. We're just greedy and gluttonous. And we are now hell-bound on stamp, elbow, elbow. Like the Jones Girls would say. There won't be peace on earth till man's at peace with woman. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So where do we go from here? Where is man going? What is the objective? How will we end up? What's the fate of the planet? What are the powers that be doing? Because I can guarantee you, we are just peasants and cannon fodder. And we're the workers. As they say in the movie Ants, as I taught my sons, that's what you are. And they won't allow you to be anything else. You're going to have to push. You're going to have to struggle. You're not going to flow through this world. Oh, no. They're going to make your experience down here as crappy as possible. So your vibration is low. You feel nothing. You feel nothing for others. All you need to do is, I'll just need to get my money and then I'll be safe. No, you won't be safe. You won't be safe. They'll pluck you out and know, look, there's our good little worker. We've got one. We've got our little minion here. We need him to procreate, and we'll have a whole heap of him. And they'll just do and say what we tell them to, without question, without thought. And that is what we are heading into. Because nobody has any care, patience, empathy for anyone anymore. It's just all pretense. Everybody's just rushing for that money, which ain't going to mean shit soon. And then what are you going to say to your fellow man? How are family members going to face other family members for their treacherous behaviour? How are friends going to face friends from their treacherous behavior. Yeah. Can you see where it's going? It's the total breakdown of what everything a human is supposed to be and to strive for. Total breakdown. Gone. Gone. Completely gone. We have younger generations that don't value shit. That is just a massive, massive red flag right there. That shows me that we have gone backwards rather than forwards, because I'm aware, highly aware, and I can't just go through this life without observing, watching, looking at things. And when things don't make sense, let's try and understand it. Let's see why it's not making any sense. Is this some sort of a riddle? Is it a joke? You know? So we need to figure these things out if people can be bothered, but hence why they create work. So you're not able to figure it out. So you haven't got time. You know? That's why they do it. From every angle, they've got it covered. You tried to stand up and stand out, you're gone. Discredited. And that's why I have a hard time being a part of society. And I chose to opt out because I've been in it for too long at the ugly end, the ugly side of humanity. Seen it all. Had it all. From family, friends, workplace, strangers, and then society itself being the main monster. I know it very well. I know it very well, sadly, you know. And so that's why whatever I do here for the remainder of my life, I'm going to make sure it's positive. I'm going to make sure it's helping others. If there's any sort of insight and clarity that I can bring, you know. My next topic is going to be the consequences of stupidity, because that's a massive thing. Stupidity is dangerous, more dangerous than people give credit for. I do believe it was in Berkeley. There was a professor that done a paper on that, and I read a bit of it. Most enlightening, I have to say. Most enlightening, yeah. The consequences of stupidity and the effects that they have, again, on people, because some dumbasses just don't want to listen. They think they know better. And then they go and cause a whole heap of issues and problems for people. So my next video in regards to the physical effects of betrayal was we're going to have a recap about the feelings and the way that it can affect you, you know, like with the headaches, the lack of appetite, the low self-esteem, the mistrust that you now have. If you didn't already have it before, it's now escalated. The insomnia, you know, we're going to talk about those effects and how they then affect your personal life and your trials and tribulations, because we're all trying to do what we've got to do, but it doesn't make it easy when you can't sleep at night, you can't eat properly, you know, because you're just so filled with anxiety. How now is that affecting your everyday life? You know, when you might need to drive long hours, but your focus and your concentration is just so bad that you feel like there's this massive interruption in your world. Yeah, I get you. I get it. That's why I had to remove myself. And to do that, yes, I did have to go down the medical route to simply just be left alone by society, to stop it from pounding on me continuously. It's never stopped since I was, what I really remember is from when I was 3. I don't remember before that because of the childhood trauma. But I just remember thinking this whole place is uncomfortable. I knew I loved nature. There was no issues with that. Nature, wildlife, all of that was beautiful. But it was the idea of society that wrecked it for me, because it makes no sense. And even to this day, it makes no sense. And we can prove it now because we're beginning to use all the resources. We are a diabolical, debauched race of people. And it's no wonder other species in the galactic community want to have nothing to do with us, because we just simply will not evolve, will we? We keep building all this tech to keep you distracted, to keep you all excited. But what you don't understand is for each time they build that, they take away a piece of your autonomy. They take a piece of your freedom. Yeah. I mean, this isn't free, but it's better than being totally not free, which is where we're heading. That's where we're heading. You have a purpose, and that is to be a worker. I nearly swore again there. That is to be a worker and to live your life doing only that. Your word don't count for shit. Your feelings don't count for crap. You're just going to work, because the hierarchy believe you are under them, and that they are aligned with alien races which give them the right to rule you. Now that would make a lot more sense. Whether it would be true or not, that makes sense why a mad person, say a sociopath or a psychopath would come up with that. That makes a lot of sense. You think you need to rule the world because you come from an alien race. Now that there makes more sense than an intelligent species doing stupid stuff to itself, because that doesn't make any sense, because we're intelligent. So if we've been given intelligence and awareness, why are we doing stupid things? Why are we doing things that would hurt us and destroy us? That makes no sense. You have to be somebody that's from somewhere else, that thinks you're better and has the right to do this to us. Create us, uncreate us. Who knows? What you do know is we don't know enough of what's going on here, and we never probably will, because they have putrefied the truth so much. You'd probably have to go all the way down to the depths of hell to get it. It's that fucked up. It's that fucked up. And that is my views on that. The betrayal of society. You younglings probably haven't got a clue, and worse still, you're not interested. Bam, you're ruined already. For the simple fact, you don't care. You don't care. And that is a bad, 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 bad attitude to have. This is a world in which you live, right? You should care about the quality of your experience. You should care about the quality of your society, your environment, your local area. You should care about your family and your friends and your soul and your spirit. You should care. And I hope you turn that round and you come to the realization that you've been had, you're going to be had, and nothing's ever going to change. They're just going to change the way they nab you in, the creativity of how they go about doing it. What they told us, they can't tell you. They have to come up with something completely new and different, so we now argue. Shut up, you old bag. What do you know? Cool. Cool. What do I know? What would I know? I'm just a soul spirit being learning what it means to be human. And I have observed deeply, not only because I want to, because I had to. And that in turn led me wanting to. And I've never stopped since. And I love my senses. I love my intuition. I love my ability to turn my back on society and feel that freedom. Yeah. I want to part from this world knowing that I know that you know that I know. That they're just chumps. The powers that be are just greedy, gluttonous, lost their way human beings that got bought out, working with the hierarchy, thinking that they're on the right-hand side of the devil is going to keep them alive forever. Fools. Idiots. Follow them. Do what you can to get into their group. Who's worse, the fool or the fool that follows the fool? It's up to you guys. I know what I've chosen. I know what I've chosen. And I will stick with that until the day I leave this place. And so, on that note, it's been a bit of a heart-to-heart. Um, I hope that you've gained some sort of insight from this. If not, that's cool. If you have, let me know. Um, like and share, because I'm just trying to spread the word, just trying to help people make sense of what's going on in their world. And because I have the time on my hands to do so now. So it's completely up to you. Um, on that note, like I said, we're going to have a recap on the physical effects and where that stands with you in your life, and what do you suffer from most. Is it the headaches? Is it the lack of appetite? Is it the being an introvert where you don't really want to go out and meet people anymore? If you're exhausted just from society on the whole, totally understand and get that. Leave a comment, share how you feel with each other. And let's see where we can go with this, because I don't know how much of it we can change, but if we share our experiences together, we can definitely help each other get along in this crazy place. I say to myself, the earth and the world is beautiful. Humans are not. I make sure I separate, because the world isn't what the bad thing is. It's us. It's us. And the animals are just waiting for us to catch up. Why do you think they don't speak no more? They use telepathy to communicate in a higher method. You see, we're the ones that are behind. And it's hard being born in a time where everything's backwards, and you feel like you should have been born somewhere in the future. But that's if the future even gets to the advanced placement that we should be. Because you have to remember, when we were in ancient times, we were far more advanced than we are now. We're going backwards, and they're doing that for a reason. They don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to be enlightened. They don't want you to have your true power. Okay? Because then they don't have power over you. There's still billions of us than there is them. But yet, here we are. The power of psychology, you see. They've got billions and billions of people under the foot, doing what they say when they say. That's mad. That's mad to me. There's more of us than there is them. What are we fucking doing? People are too scared. Or people are happy. You like it the way it is. Cool. But there are a few of us that don't. And my wish is for my soul spirit to come back when humanity's advanced. I'm here for a reason why we go through this transition. I still haven't figured out why that is, but maybe the Most High will enlighten me. But it makes no sense, and it begs the question of, why am I here experiencing this diabolical crap? There's got to be a reason for it. There's got to be a reason for what my soul is learning. Because why? It makes no sense to disregard life when you're gifted with it, to do these things with it. Why would you do that? Why so horrible? Why so nasty? It's just I've never been able to make sense of it since, and that's why I've always been curious. Because for an intelligence beings and an intelligent race, we are not stupid. Really, we are not frigging stupid. Hence why I'm going to go into the consequences of stupidity, and the effect that has on people's lives, and why people do it. But before that, I'm going to go through, again, the physical effects, the reminders of what people are dealing with, so much so that they're on medication, so much so that you have to take things like Nitol, sleeping medicine, an unprescribed one that you can get over the counter. People changing our diets, changing what we drink, changing who we're around, changing what we do, changing what we subject ourselves to, because down here on this earth, all they're doing is getting humans to vibrate at a very, very, very low frequency. And you can feel it. You can feel it. You can see it. People are drained. People are tired of it all. They feel trapped and lost. That's the idea, is for you to feel that there's no way out. And then that in turn makes people even more cruel, because they're like, oh, I don't believe in life after this life. I reckon we just die, so you might as well have all of it, make the most of it, and just take what you want when you want. That is wrong. You don't need to get on like that. You don't. And that's what makes this environment an even worse place and an even worse experience, because everybody is just rushing through those gates all at once, and it's just mayhem. I always think of it as Black Friday, but it's continuously a Black Friday, all day, every day. That's all we've got. And I don't know for what ripe age I will live to, and I don't know what I'm going to witness, but I'm ready for it. I've said that in a song as well. A lot of things in my years before, when I was an artist, I'd written about, and a lot of them have come to pass now, because it's strange that so I wrote a lot of things in my songs that actually hadn't happened yet, but have happened over the last 20 years. So the irony, you know, I will talk about stuff in the music industry, but I'm going to get to that when I have my podcast, because I want to have a few guests on, and then we can really get into the nitty gritty, which why I'm glad it didn't happen for me. I was hell bent on trying to be, you know, a well-known singer-songwriter, and it didn't matter which avenue, it didn't matter who I was backing singing for or who I was rubbing shoulders with. It wasn't meant to be, because I wasn't in the circle, you know. So that meant I was never going to get in, and I was in tears when I was younger. Because it was like Billie Holiday, it was all I had, and it was a place where I had solitude. I felt I belonged, and it was a beautiful feeling. And then society took that from me as well, so it took everything. And I remember thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's the love of my life. What am I going to do? And 30 years on, I'm absolutely, well, there you go, happy it didn't work. Who would ever have thought that I would even say those words, that I am happy? It kept getting sabotaged. I'm happy I had people in my own frigging neighborhood who were sabotaging some of my shows, so I didn't get to perform, but they did. Yeah, because sparks would have flown if I'd have performed. But at every angle, it got sabotaged by others through their jealousy and hate, or it just simply didn't go right for me. That's cool. But when you had your nearest and dearest and people that you thought wanted to see you do well, not wanting to see you do well, and then just trying to bring up their people, bragging about their singing and that, it was just pure competition. So then I saw it for what it was. And then I dabbled at a lot of private parties, and I saw that for what it was. And me and my heart still plodded on. I still plodded on. I wasn't having it, my stubborn self. And then I think the last betrayal was my own partner not wanting us to get the record deal. So he was fucking it up, because I should have got one. There was no reason why I shouldn't have got one. I should have got one. And it turned out that he was the biggest sabotager of all, and he just didn't want to see me go to the next level, and that was it. And there you have it. And in the end, it, you know, society was so bad. I just said, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. You're just cruel, hateful. You know, it's just betrayal. It's a spiteful thing to do, and it's a painful thing to feel. It is. And then you realize, look, I've got no faith in anyone, anywhere, anymore. So what do? I retreat. And I summarize. I go back into reflection. I summarize again. And I just sit. I speak with the Most High, and I wait. I wait. But all I can say is, from a spiritual point of view, anytime when it's been real dire straits, right at that moment, he's lifted me out and put me where I need to be, because certainly didn't get that from any other human beings. They were too busy trying to hurt me. And the Most High knew, shit, she's got to have someone in her corner. And it was him. And that's how it's always been since I was born, put here. So to me, society is the biggest traitor of all. As soon as you turn your back, it will stab you in it. And it's got its little minions who created it to make that work for them 24/7. Nothing's ever fucking changed since I was a child. And until we stand up, it never will. You know? So, until my next video, my darlings, have a wonderful weekend. And as always, Jala.